The Rovers Chat YouTube channel is proudly sponsored by 6yardsout.com. They've got retro football from every era with mugs, phone cases and much more. They also have plenty of Rovers goods including apparel with the famous 94-95 season and this season's kit. Check them out using the link in the description below. Hello Rovers fans and welcome to a very special edition of On the Other Side with me, Ryan Hildred from Rovers Chat. We were buoyed by our first live stream in the week that we've decided to do this one live. So it's the usual opposition view that we're going to be bringing you in advance of the next game. And it happens to be Coventry City tomorrow, who get the chance to go live with us today. And I'm really delighted to be joined by Coventry fan Simon from the Empty Seats YouTube channel. How are you, Simon?
Very well. How are you doing, Ryan?
I'm good, thanks. Could you just tell us a bit about your YouTube channel first before we start? Just give it a bit of a plug.
Yeah, sure. I'll give it a bit of a plug. So basically, I cover general Football League stuff, League 2, League 1 and the Championship with a bit of a Coventry twist on there as well. But if you're a fan of a Football League club, please do check it out and like and subscribe and all that good stuff.
Brilliant. Thanks, Simon. So we'll give that a link on this video, of course. And Rovers fans watching, if you are not following Rovers_chat on Twitter yet, then shame on you. Please give us a follow. And of course, subscribe to this YouTube channel as well to keep up to date with all of our content. As I say, loads of things coming out this season. So Simon, let's kick off with the match preview then. We unfortunately share the pain of some very horrible ownership, some questionable ownership. And you've probably been a bit further than we have. So you could probably answer this question all day, especially after dropping down to League 2. But I just want to focus on the last couple of seasons, if I can. What's changed over the last couple of years to get you back up to this Championship level?
It's a really difficult question, actually, to answer. I think obviously CC the owners, we've all heard about the issues with them moving grounds. It's not plain sailing at all. But what changed for Coventry was, it's not an understatement to say this, was Mark Robins coming back. He came back when we were bottom of League 1. We played in the Checkatrade Trophy final. That was a really big turning point for us, winning that game at Wembley in front of 40,000 fans. Won that, and then from there, he's just started to change things around the club, little things, painting the dressing rooms, getting things done at the training ground, every single thing to make the club feel like a proud place to play for a big club again. Because we had many years where there were just managers who didn't care, players who didn't understand the club, loan players coming in, no money being invested, no resale value on our young players. And Mark Robbins has managed to change all that. Winning the playoff final in League 2 was probably even more significant a year later, because if we were in League 2 for another year, I'm not sure how we would have coped. But it really is all about Mark Robbins coming back and Sisu sort of leaving him to it, leaving the football side to him, letting him do what he wants, letting him bring in the staff he wants, supporting him a little bit this season with some player finances as well, which has been quite nice back in the Championship. But yeah, they've just kind of left the football side to him, left him alone. Obviously, we're still playing in Birmingham, which is far from ideal. But he's a brilliant manager, and every Coventry fan's delighted to have him.
Some strange echoes there with what you were saying, that dip down to League Two. If you'd been there for longer than a season, it might have been different. That's very similar to us when we dipped down to League One. Ultimately Mowbray got us out at the first attempt, and I think had we stayed down there for more than a season, we would have lost some key players, and we might have struggled to get back and been the next Sheffield United or Sunderland at that level. What I should have said, Rovers fans, is if you have got any comments for Simon or for me, to ask, we will pick them up through this and I'll ask them and we'll come on to them. So please do give us the usual comments like you were the other night. So Simon, now you're here, is it a feeling of Coventry being back where they belong, particularly Championship level?
Yeah, I think this is a minimum level of where we should be at as a football club, as a team. I do think it's tough for us at the moment. Obviously, Blackburn, you'll know that when you come up from League One, it's a hard slog in the Championship first time up. So I don't think anyone's expecting anything towards the top half, especially. But I think it is a case of this is the minimum level this club should be at, and we also should be playing in Coventry as well in front of our own fans. But that's another matter for another time. This is definitely the level, or the Premier League, these two divisions is where we should be and have been for pretty much all of our history, apart from the last 5 or 6 years.
Yeah, and we can't talk about Coventry without talking about the ground share at Birmingham. I think as a fan, if we didn't have our own ground, that's just one of the most heartbreaking things to happen. You see all the grounds being renamed to stupid names. That's one thing, but not to have your own ground, that's another thing. And I think obviously Highfield Road was a place that was special to a lot of fans, and maybe the Rico has never felt like home. But that said, what is the latest with your own stadium? And to be fair to Birmingham, what sort of hosts have they been for you?
On the Birmingham note, it's been brilliant since we've been there. I think really welcoming, kept the pitch in excellent condition, better than the Rico pitch with Wasps, allowed us to play great football. Yeah, can't speak highly enough of Birmingham. I think that's a partnership that's actually working quite nicely off the field between the board members and things going off with the finances off the pitch. So it's nice that they've been there for us almost in our time of need. It seems like a much better ground share we've got now than the one we had in Northampton in 2014, I think that was. That was a shambles really, and really kind of bitter. The fans were very much boycotting going to Northampton in League One. That was at the time. Missed out on some great football, Callum Wilson, Leon Clark. But with the ground share at Birmingham, people have realised it's not mainly Sisu's fault in a way. It's Wasps, it's the council, it's the stadium owners. There's so many parties involved that Sisu have come out and said, and it's been a bit more open, a bit more communication with fans, that the club can't exist if we were to do a deal which was unsuitable financially with Wasps, which would include paying a ridiculous amount of rent and not getting any of the money when our fans were in the stadium. And you can see from Wasps at the moment, they own the stadium, the seats are still sky blue. Coventry don't really want to be there. I'm not sure any Coventry fan misses it too much. We'd much rather have our own home somewhere else that we own, a Highfield Road 2, if you will. I know there were plans starting on building a stadium at the University of Warwick, but no ground's been broken yet, and we're quite unless it actually starts happening. I'm sure we'll keep our cards close to our chest with that one, because we've heard a lot of rumours in the past of what might happen. So for now, we're happy in Birmingham. Want to see start of progress being built on a new stadium for the Rico Arena. Not sure any fan really wants to go back there. It'll do if we could do a 3-year deal at the Rico Arena until we have our own ground built. That'll be ideal, I think. But it's never felt like home. I think you hit the nail on the head there.
Yeah, I just wanted to ask you a few questions about that, because I think we've had it bad, Rovers. Ultimately Venky's made some really bad decisions that ultimately got us relegated out of the Premier League. But often I do reflect on other clubs and how bad it could be. So we're kind of hanging on in there and very reliant on Venky's finance. And I do worry that if they were to ever pull that, we'd be the next Bolton Wanderers, wouldn't we, in terms of finances? So, no, I just wanted to ask you a few questions about that, Simon. And I hope you get your new stadium soon.
Yeah, no
so
worries.
If we look back then to last season, promoted back to the Championship in that very disrupted season, and you won League One with that points per game method, was top spot ultimately deserved? Is that where you were going anyway?
Yeah, I think so. And this is the most arrogant I've ever felt as a Coventry fan. We were the best team in League One. by an absolute mile last season, and every team we played said it. We lost 3 games all season, 1 game at St Andrews at home, which is remarkable given it was our first season ground sharing there. Absolutely ridiculous. The players we had, the team we had, Liam Walsh was amazing from Bristol City, Callum O'Hare from Villa, who we've now got permanently. Matty Godden scored loads of crucial goals, but we only conceded 30 goals in 36 games that we eventually played, I think. So it's very difficult not to get promoted when your defence is playing that well. It was amazing. It was amazing to watch. I think all the players said the last game we played was an away win at Ipswich. We beat them 1-0, and the players were in the dressing room after the game saying, this is it, we're going to win the league. There was no doubt in anyone's mind. Mark Robins wasn't saying it, but I think there was a lot of belief coming out of the dressing room. And then, of course, the whole coronavirus pandemic struck and brought football to a halt pretty sharpest. But we'd just come through a really tough run of fixtures up to that point. And then obviously football stopped, and it was a long and painful wait until it was announced. Having never seen Coventry win a league, I'm not sure I'll ever see us win a league again. So to have that moment taken away from us of the final whistle blowing and celebrating in the stadium was difficult. And I'm not sure how many leagues we're going to win in my lifetime yet. So that was difficult and tough. But a place in the Championship for us was so important in terms of our finances that we can't complain too much, really. I was in my kitchen when I got the news we got promoted, not at the stadium, which is disappointing, but you take what you can get.
No, you do, and I must apologise. I'd totally forgotten about Coventry and the whole equation of fans not being at grounds. You know, I think about Liverpool and Leeds, and then even clubs like Barrow getting promoted into the Football League. All those moments, as you say, that are lost. So yeah, that's sad that Coventry got robbed of that as well. So yeah. Shame. So if we look at your pre-season activity, then have you managed to keep the core of that squad that got promoted together, and have you made any notable signings or any notable departures?
Every single player I think is there from last season, including Callum O'Hare was on loan from Villa, who we signed permanently on a free, and Sam McCallum, who we sold to Norwich in January, got him back on loan, and now they've just loaned him back to us again. So it's turned into a really good deal for us. That the only player who's not there is Liam Walsh, who was on loan from Bristol City and would have cost far too much money because he's insane. I think he's out injured at the moment. He was our player of the year last season and won a few of our end of season awards, central midfielder, but everyone else is there. And we've made some really good signings this summer. Standout player for me, I absolutely love him. Coventry fans love him, is Gustavo Hamer. Paid about £1 million for him from the Eredivisie in the Netherlands, but he's unfortunately suspended for this one, I think, because he got sent off against Bournemouth, 3-game suspension, bit of a slap in the face, but that sums up the kind of player he is. He's an all-action midfielder. He's absolutely brilliant. I love watching him, but he needs to realise that people are going to wind him up in English football, and his disciplinary record's got to get a bit better. So us spending £1 million on a player back in the Championship was absolutely amazing. Getting Callum O'Hare on a free from Villa was, obviously, we paid him a decent amount of wages there. And who else have we brought in? A couple of names who have been out injured at the moment. And Tyler Walker, of course, who, again, Blackburn, you've been a bit lucky with our signings this summer, because Tyler Walker from Nottingham Forest, we got him on a permanent deal after trying to get him on loan, and he, at the moment, has coronavirus. So he is self-isolating and won't be playing this weekend.
Yeah, well, I'm happy to hear that those two players aren't playing on Saturday, but I hope Tyler Walker gets better soon.
Yeah, and also I'll add Leo Ostergaard to that as well, the centre-back we've got on loan from Brighton. Came with rave reviews, and he's been playing quite well. He was dropped for the last game, actually, but I think he could feature this weekend.
Great. So if we look at your start, then it's 1 win at home to QPR, 2 draws, 3 defeats. You happy enough with that start, with life back in the Championship?
Yeah, it's been a tricky start. The performance against QPR was good. We haven't played like we did last season yet, apart from in the first half against Swansea. The Swansea recent last game out, it was best performance of the season so far. We were pinging the ball about like we did in League One. It looks like the players have got a bit of confidence. And Mark Robins keeps saying we just haven't quite found our feet at this level yet. We were used to winning every single week last season, but also we had a 6 to 7 month break or something, wasn't it, without playing football, which no other side in the Championship had. So I think it was always expected that we might be a bit of a slow starter this season. Hopefully later in the season we can catch up a bit of that ground. But I'm satisfied with the start. I think the positives against Swansea have encouraged me a bit. But obviously, this run of fixtures we've had the last 3 games and 3 games upcoming are pretty much as tough as it gets in the Championship. Bournemouth, Swansea, as you mentioned, Blackburn been up there recently, and then we've got Middlesbrough and Nottingham Forest as well. So it's certainly a Championship fixture list, and hopefully we can pick up some wins for sure. Hopefully starting this weekend.
Hopefully not. Yeah, a bit of a baptism of fire, that one. So if we move on to the game itself then, Simon, what's Coventry's approach going to be? You know, you've spoken about playing good football and things like that. Are you a team that likes to attack, likes to keep the ball, or are you going to be happy to allow Rovers to have the ball? Are you going to sit off us a little bit?
We'll try and have more of the possession than Blackburn. Is how we tend to be able to dictate games. We play a 5 at the back system with kind of a 4 in midfield in a box shape, which is quite unique, I think, in Championship. Quite an interesting system to have to mark. And then Matty Godden up front on his own. So it's what we try and do is keep the ball and get the ball forward quickly with kind of quick vertical passes and try and get in between the lines and cause problems that way. Fankati Dabo, our right wing back, has been out for the last few games. I'm not sure he'll be back this game, but he's so important to the way we play. We have our 2 wing backs really, really high up the pitch, almost pushing onto your full backs, if you will. And we try and play from there, play out from the back with the 3 centre backs. Marco Morosi in goal is your classic kind of sweeper keeper, modern footballer, loves a pass, and he's decent with his hands as well. So yeah, it'll be a case of us trying to assert our authority on the match, which is what we've struggled with a bit in the Championship so far compared to last season. That's been the biggest difference, I think. Just getting punished for a few mistakes here and there and not being able to quite assert ourselves like we were able to last season. But no disrespect meant here against teams like Blackburn. If we could do it against Swansea, I'd hope we could kind of do it against Blackburn and at least give a good account of ourselves. If we don't manage to get the win, hopefully we can get a point.
Yeah, the reason I asked that question, Joe Harvey from the Rovers Chat channels got some interesting graphs around, you know, Rovers' results when we've got possession of the football. Quite interesting. We struggle when we've got more possession of the ball, and we struggle to break sides down. So
that doesn't surprise me. I don't think if you look at kind of Armstrong playing down the middle, as a Coventry fan, we had him on loan. All he loves to do is make those runs in behind, you know, pace, power, great finishing. So maybe that's to be expected. Do you think you'll be sitting back going to Birmingham?
I'm not sure. I think Mowbray's just wanting to play that possession game this season. So I can see us just doing more of the same. And we've been punished. We have been punished. And Joe's going to talk about it, I think, on these live streams over the next couple of days. So I just can't see Mowbray changing. I think that's the philosophy he's got now, just keeping the ball, dictating it. And as I say, we've not got full fruits from that at the moment. So if we look at the game and some of the personnel in it, Simon, who are the danger men for Coventry tomorrow?
I've mentioned a couple of them already, but Callum O'Hare, he will be playing. A lot of our players won't be playing who are a danger men, but he will be playing. Plays in one of those 2 number 10 positions behind Matty Godden, and he's absolutely incredible. I love that we've got him on a free. He's quick, he's clever on the ball, he's tricky. He's scored, I think he scored this season as well. Scored quite a few last season, 3 or 4. Doesn't sound too many, but he kind of contributed and chipped in with a few goals here or there. So yeah, he is pivotal. It's quite pivotal to everything we do that's exciting going forward. Elsewhere, I think Liam Kelly our captain, came on against Swansea for half an hour after being out for a few weeks with injury. If he starts, he'll be really crucial. I think he kind of is the breath that holds our midfield together and gives it a bit of rigidity. If he's not playing, we look a bit lost in the middle. To be honest, he's the organizer, he's the tackler, he's the man who puts his foot in. He's really important to us. And then Matty Godden, hopefully, can continue his decent scoring form this season. He's your classic finisher in terms of if he's not in the game, he's not contributing too much, but he kind of lurks in that final third and seems to know the position to be in and can contribute with Callum O'Hare as well. And then Fankati Dabo, I really hope he's playing tomorrow. Right wing back, powerful, energetic. His engine is ridiculous. Keeps going to the last minute. Good cross. He's fantastic. He really is. Definitely a Championship level player. One of perhaps only 3 or 4 in our team that when we got promoted, people knew he'd step up with ease. He was a Chelsea youngster and came to us thanks to AD Vivash and the links with him But yeah, he's really exciting. And Ryan Giles at left wing back, not quite as good as Dabo, but he's quick. He can put a cross in. Definitely a bit more attacking as well. So yeah, I think we've got decent options. But I still think your squad's probably stronger than ours on paper.
And if there is any areas of weakness that you think Rovers can exploit, where can we have some joy?
Yeah, that would be if Liam Kelly doesn't start. I think central midfield is a bit weak without Hamer and Kelly. Obviously, we're down to then our third and fourth choice. Jordan Shipley scored last time out, but it's a case of kind of not playing in quite their natural position. A few attacking midfielders being have to be dropped down to centre defensive midfield. So hopefully Kelly plays from our point of view and sorts us out in midfield. Centre backs have been really good. Wing backs have been decent as well. But yeah, it's not too many weaknesses in our team, to be honest. It's just a case of when we're not fully fit, we can be exploited.
Yeah, and you're ultimately riding the wave, aren't you, with promotion, which Rovers found that when we started life back in the Championship. We got a few decent results, and I think it wasn't until Bristol City away, I think it was something like September, October of the normal season when we lost our first game. So what have you made of Rovers so far this season and just in general, really? Where do you put us?
Exciting, I think. I mean, the start was amazing, wasn't it? We had that 5-0 win. It was that Wickham 4-0 win as well.
Yeah, 4-0 at Derby, 5-0 at home to Wickham. Yeah,
absolutely remarkable in terms of goals. I know Wickham, very difficult to judge this season. What's a good result against? They seem to be losing every week, so you've got to beat them. But the goal scoring, attacking play, I think, has been absolutely fantastic. I think moving Armstrong down the middle has been I've said it for a couple of years. That's where he should be playing. I know last season he was mainly out on the left wing, wasn't he, trying to cut inside? But switching that around, Brereton playing wider, Armstrong down the middle seems to have really sorted you out going forward. But then recent weeks, I mean, the results haven't been quite as good as what they were at the very start of the season, have they? But yeah, I mean, Tony Mowbray, he's a good manager at this level, isn't he? You've got a decent squad at this level, I think. If you can finish in the top half, it's a very successful season for Blackburn, and I think that's what you ultimately should be aiming for.
Yeah. And you've just mentioned it, in terms of Rovers Coventry links, from a playing side, not many that I could see, but a huge link, of course, in Tony Mowbray, as you've just said. What was he like as a manager for you, and how is he regarded at Coventry?
Really, really tough question to answer that, because for one season, Tony Mowbray gave us some of the best football we've ever seen. I mean, sorry, for half a season, Tony Mowbray gave us some of the best football we've ever seen, with one of the best squads we've ever seen and League One has ever seen. We had Joe Cole, we had James Maddison, we had Adam Armstrong, we had Jacob Murphy, we had John Fleck. It's like a League One All-Stars team almost we had. And I think we were top in November, nearly top by Christmas. And then in the January transfer window, we signed a lot of old players, Peter Ramage, Stephen Hunt, those sort of names, and absolutely fell away and crumbled. Then obviously the loan players we had, Ryan Kent, Jacob Murphy, Adam Armstrong, all left. James Maddison was sold, I think, and it completely fell apart. And then that summer, we went from one of the best teams, one of the best squads in League One. Everyone left. Mowbray was trying to be patient with his signings. He waited until the very last few minutes of the transfer window, the last few days, and couldn't sign anyone. He obviously wasn't backed. He couldn't get his signings, couldn't get anybody over the line. It was an absolute shambles. The team we had at the start of the season was pathetic. Honestly, it was horrendous for League One. So to go from the top of League One to the bottom like that, and then at the start of the following season there, he managed 10 league games. We didn't win any of them. We finished, we were about 23rd or 24th when he left. He basically left to save his pride, which I don't think Coventry fans were happy with. From our point of view, it was, you've got us into this mess. You've left us with this squad, and now you're walking away to kind of save your career almost. So he left in mediocre terms. There wasn't too much to say about it. Then we had 3 or 4 managers that year and were relegated from League One. And ultimately, it was his decisions in the transfer window that left us with such a poor squad. We weren't able to compete at all. So that led us to League Two. Only good thing from that season was Mark Robbins came in the last 2 months or so.
Really interesting what you said about the transfer window there and how long he took in it, because we were getting quite anxious as Rovers fans. We were very slow in this window. We'd signed Kaminsky, our goalkeeper, and Tyrese Dolan and Ayala, and really 4 signings just came out of the bag and out from nowhere on the deadline day, and ultimately made it a good window for us. But I think Mowbray is public about the fact that he doesn't want to pay agents' fees, doesn't want to be held to ransom, will agree the price that he thinks is right. And I do think that goes against him at times.
It certainly doesn't. When he was at Coventry, you looked at what he did the transfer window before, where we bought in Adam Armstrong. Sorry to keep coming back to him. He bought in Adam Armstrong on the last day of the window, and everyone was like, we've signed this 18-year-old loanee from Newcastle. Like, is this like clutching at straws? He turns up, scores 20 goals in League One, and we're like, yeah, okay. So the following season, when Mowbray's saying he's trying to be patient, you kind of trust him. It kind of backfired in our face. But it's credit to him. I think if he has a budget, he's trying to make it go a long way. I think your club's going to be in safe-ish hands with Mowbray in charge in terms of a financial point of view.
I think so, and I think just with the stuff I was saying earlier about our debts and stuff like that, I'm not going to complain about the fact that he's trying to do the right thing and do the moral thing. But obviously, it's a business, it's a results business, isn't it? Football, and you have to maybe do a few things that go against the grain or against your usual thing. So we'll see what Mowbray's signings do. Before we finish the video, Simon, just a plug to anyone who's watching. If you've got any questions for Simon or for myself about the game, about Coventry, about Rovers, anything you want to ask, drop it in there. We're going to be ending the live stream fairly soon, so get your comments in, get your questions in if you've got one. We've had one. Here we go. El Scotty. So is Robins the type of manager to sit back against better sides, or is it your style of play regardless? I'll have to give that one to you, Simon.
Yeah, good question. That tricky this season. I think he's found it tough this season with the level of opposition we've faced. Against Bournemouth, he tried to be a bit more attacking in the first half. It was much more positive, and obviously Bournemouth are one of the top maybe 6 teams in the division. Then we retreated after the half time, and we conceded 2 goals and lost the game ultimately. And then against Swansea, who again are one of the better sides in the league, we came out fighting. We played attacking for the whole game. We should have beaten them. So I think he will now, from now on, the players will have a bit of confidence, and we'll just go and try and play our way, no matter the opposition, whether it be anyone at Wickham or Watford. I think we'll go and try and do our thing and see how it goes, because if we sit back, we get beaten ultimately.
Yeah. And we've had another question from Daniel Woods. How do you think this will play out for Coventry defenders welcoming Armstrong back and knowing how good he is?
Yeah, I'm not sure how many Coventry defenders were there when he was last at Coventry, but I'm sure they'll have their eye on him. I think Dom Hyer might have been there. No, maybe not. So yeah, obviously his pace and his finishing is a huge factor in his game, but they've dealt with some top strikers in the last few weeks. Andre Ayew, Ivan Toney at Brentford scored 2 past us. We know how good Armstrong is. We know what his game is, and we'll just have to manage him in the best way possible. I don't think it'll be a man marking job, but by any means, I think it'll be a collective team unit. But yeah, I think it might be playing in the back of their mind that he's scored goals for Coventry. I wonder if Armstrong will want to get one over on us. Although I think it was quite a harmonious relationship between Armstrong and Coventry, so I hope he's not too bitter about it. Hope he doesn't have his shooting boots on.
Well, the last couple of games, he's Watford, it was just Ben Foster. Him and Ben Foster had a personal battle, and Ben Foster saved a penalty, and Armstrong missed a couple of chances. And
I saw the highlights on that. It was absolutely an amazing game from Foster, wasn't it? But sometimes you don't get the rub of the green, do you?
No. And I think the game before, Armstrong was a bit quiet against Forest, so I think he's due one. So we'll see. So I don't think we've got any more comments now. So I'll just move on then, Simon, to the part of the show where I'm going to put you on the spot. So I'm going to ask you for a prediction on the game, so a result for the game itself, and then maybe a bit about the season. What are you hoping, what are you expecting for the season ahead?
No worries. So the game tomorrow, I'm confident. I think I'm going to say a 2-1 win to Coventry. simply, if we hadn't had that game against Swansea, I'd be predicting a draw or a loss. But I'm really encouraged by that. It seemed like we were kind of back to not our best in League One, but getting there, playing the kind of football we wanted to see, creating chances. We hit the post, had one cleared off the line, and scored against them. So if that's anything to go by, I'm fairly confident going into this one. Really hopeful we can get something. If we lose, I'll be pretty disappointed, to be honest, given the run of fixtures we've got coming up, the run of fixtures we've had. You mentioned only one win so far this season. It's been tough so far. So these are the kind of games we really need to get 3 points from. And I'm going for a win. No disrespect, Blackburn. I think you'll probably score. I think Armstrong will probably score. But yeah, I'm confident. I think we can do it. And the season as a whole, our goal simply has to be to stay up. We are a better team than the bottom 3 in the Championship, I think. I think a lot of Coventry fans have hopes we could get up to maybe 16th, 17th, that kind of range, lower mid-table. We'd be happy with that, definitely. But in terms of budget, we're nowhere near a lot of these other teams. Wages paid, transfer fees paid, we're kind of dwarfed by all of them. But on the pitch, on paper, we've been putting up good battles, perhaps Bournemouth game excluded there. Playing really well, playing good football, we can score goals. We just need to get the defence sorted again, nice and solid. And I think we should be okay to keep the points ticking over, get some wins on the board and go from there. I'm hopeful the second half of the season, or as we build up progression, build up a bit of momentum, hopeful the second half of the season will be a bit more positive than the first half. And who knows, we might even climb to a mid-table finish. But that's as good as it's going to get.
Excellent. Well, I don't completely put you on the spot. I also offer a prediction. I mean, this game is the one that is the proverbial banana skin for Rovers. Last season, we lost away at Barnsley, lost away at Luton. So we'll find a way to lose games like this. However, I am fancying us for a win tomorrow. I think just what you've said about Coventry's style and the fact you're going to keep the ball and maybe not sit back off us, I do think we might get a bit of joy with that. And we can't have 3 defeats on the spin. So I think the players are going to be motivated to put that right. So I'm also thinking 2-1, but in our favour. Armstrong is definitely due a goal. So a 2-1 win with Armstrong scoring. And in terms of your season, I think absolutely that's what you should be aiming for. I think when I was thinking before the season, I think there was 8 sides down there that you could probably make a case for being relegated, kind of all a bit of the same. And then obviously Sheffield Wednesday, I got the -12. And then after that, I think everyone's looking at the other end towards playoffs. I think it's absolutely wide open. But good that Coventry are coming back up and in good spirits and feeling confident. I never like to see clubs go through the ringer like that. So it's good that you've come back from that.
I think if we had a fully fit squad and our players were fully fit back from injury, we had a few options off the bench. Maybe I've been a bit too confident, but I'll stick by my team.
No, we've got a comment from Mark Whittle, who's part of the Rovers Chat team as well. Constructive insight from Simon on Coventry. So there's some love for you as well, Simon. So
thank you very much. Thanks, Mark.
And El Scotty's given a prediction as well. 3-1 Rovers. Adam Armstrong 2 and Harvey Elliott looking like he's going to get a goal there as well. So before we finish this stream then, everyone, if you've got a prediction on the game, do whack it into the comments box there. But Simon, I will just finish by saying, thank you for joining us today. Just give us another plug of the Empty Seats channel. Yeah,
if you're a Football League fan of any club, Blackburn fans, Championship, League 1, League 2, go over, check it out. Going to come up with all sorts of content over the coming weeks as well.
Brilliant, thank you. And Rovers fans, you can see at the bottom of our screen here, Rovers_chat on Twitter, Rovers Chat on Facebook, Rovers_chat on Instagram. And if you are not subscribing to this channel, why not? You can stay up to date with all of our videos. Andy's Stats Show, Joe Harvey's doing loads with Rovers Analytics this season. 1875 podcast. We've got these on the other side videos, which may now go to a new live format. Who knows? And then we're going to be doing some more live streams as well and connecting with you all. So before I finish, Mark is predicting 2-1 Rovers. So, of course, this is a Rovers channel, Simon. So you're going to be getting some Rovers.
What's going on?
Yeah, where are you? As the year would say. But no, we will end the stream there. So thank you, Simon, for joining us. Really enjoyed your insight, and I must say, I think you've gone a bit under the radar. Actually, I found out loads about Coventry today. I think it's just maybe I was just lazily thinking that you'd come up and you would struggle, but actually, no, you've given me some good actual reason to not think that, and good that Coventry are back in good shape. So thank you for joining us and giving me the comment.
Yeah,
no
absolute
worries.
pleasure for coming on anytime. I'll hopefully see you for the reverse fixture.
Indeed. And Rovers fans, we will end the video there. As I say, please subscribe, give the video a like, and if you are watching this on the catch-up, put your comments onto the YouTube channel there, and we will pick them up as best we can. But look out for tomorrow. We've got more live streams tomorrow before the game itself. We've got our pre-match stream at 1:45. So set your clocks, set your alarms, do whatever you need to do, and join some of us for that live pre-match stream. So we will end it there. Thank you, Simon. Thanks, Rovers fans, and we will see you soon. The Rovers Chat YouTube channel is proudly sponsored by 6yardsout.com. They've got retro football from every era with mugs, phone cases and much more. They also have plenty of Rovers goods, including apparel with the famous 94-95 season and this season's kit. Check them out using the link in the description below.